Today I'm about to show you how I made about 1.1k trading on the Asia session. This was over the course of 2 trades and in the span of 3 days. So I got a trade on the first day, I had found no trade on the second day, and then on the third day I took another W. So basically I'm about to be breaking down from start to finish how you should trade on the Asia session, and I'm about to be showing you why this is actually a good tool to use and not only trading in the AM of New York session, right? Because it's on the Asia session, it starts at 7 p.m. EST. So it could be good for people in North America as well, which is like after work, after school, or anytime in the afternoon if you want to trade. But yeah, I find it really good, like a really good time zone to trade because it's really consistent. Okay, so this was the first example, well, the first setup I took. And so basically, I'm about to be laying out how you actually set this up. So for the only things you really need to do for Asia is mark out the 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. and then find the liquidity, find like the sell side and buy side liquidity. So here's the sell side liquidity is the lowest point, and the buy side liquidity is up here, and you can see that's literally at 6 a.m. when it opened. That's the buy side liquidity in this case. It's not always like that. Usually it's like within the range. There's like a low and then a high, and then you mark those two out. And then the second thing you have to mark out is the new day opening gap. So I'll show you guys how to mark that out. It's basically so there's a gap between the market at like 5 to 6. There's like no trading going on. So there'll be like a gap. So at the close, right when market closes is 6:59, when it's turning to 5, that's what you mark out. So here it's like a bearish candle, so you mark out the low of that. And then the open of price, you mark that as well, which here it's also buy side liquidity, but usually it's not that. So at 6, you do the opening price of the market at 6 p.m., and you mark that out. Then you have your new week opening gap, and those are like basically the only things you need. So then after 7 is when you could start trading and when the Asia session basically opens. So we can see here, we failed to break through this high over here. So I didn't take any trades, right? And then we went back up, and now we took out buy side liquidity. Now I'm looking for a market structure shift. And we could see that with this like swing low here getting broken through. So after that happens, I'm looking to take a setup, and basically I'm looking for a fair value gap to trade off of, and it kind of helps here that there's a breaker, so it like kind of even gives me extra like confidence in what taking this trade. So as you can see here, broke down, it didn't reach the sell side liquidity, and it retraced all the way up to this fair value gap here, and it tapped it right on this candle here. I know like when I pop this up, like I want to move this, but it's kind of nicely placed, so I'm not going to move it. But you can see it taps the fair value gap and it goes through the breaker. So now I know, okay, this is a time where I can take a short. So I take a short here for a 2.47, and I put my stops above the fair value gap, and there's like kind of an order block here, so I put it above that. But usually if there's no order block here, I might put it even higher, because in Asia session you want to be like extra careful with your stop losses, because like the wicks, it like wicks out a lot, and it does like gaps and like weird movements. So just to be safe, you want to put it a bit further. But for me, this was a good one because there's an order block here, and it's at the top of the fair value gap. So it's a pretty good place to put my stop loss. After that, price just directly went to sell side liquidity. But that's basically what you want to target, is some sort of liquidity or the new day opening gap. You could view those as like a magnet that price like goes to. So basically, let's say the new day opening gap was like down here, and let's say like it was like here, let's say, like obviously it would be like completely different, right? But you could target the open of the new day opening gap, because sometimes the sell side liquidity will be like all the way down here, right? So it's unrealistic, right? So that would be like your target would be the new day opening gap instead of the sell side or buy side liquidity. But yeah, I'm gonna go into the second example now, and I'm about to be marking it up with you guys so that you could see what it like actually looks like when you're setting up like an Asia session trade. Okay, now we're here on the second trade, which was on the November 13th, and I'm about to be showing you guys how I set them up, right? So basically, we'll mark out the 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. obviously. Wait, yeah. So this is your range here that you're looking for liquidity. Next, we'll mark out the new day opening gap. Okay, these notifications, bro. But yeah, new day opening gap. So let's see, price closed at 5 here and opened here. So here's a small new day opening gap, but you get the point. So okay, let's see, buy side liquidity first, and now sell side liquidity. So this is the lowest and highest points, and that's basically it. So see how fast that is? Like, it barely takes any time. So now what I saw, sell side liquidity gets ran through. Okay, break of structure, break this high or whatever this is here, right? A retrace into fair value gap, and then I target the nearest high, which was right here, and then bang, that's it. Simple. It was like a 2.29. I'm gonna mark it out right now. So you would set up the fair value gap, which is right here, right? And you could, if you enter a consequent encroachment, you get a better setup. But I do usually enter a consequent encroachment, except when there's like a block here or something paired with the fair value gap, because that's like a high percentage that like it won't go all the way down to consequent encroachment. It'll just respect this block and the top of the fair value gap. So I entered like around here, and I targeted this high here that we haven't reached yet. Always target highs you haven't reached yet, right? Because don't target this, because we already got all the way up here, right? So now the next target is to take out this liquidity, and it could run all the way up here, and it could maybe even take out buy side. But in this case, it's actually good that you took it early. In a lot of cases, it will go higher, but like look at the percentage you'll get up here, right? So I put my stop below here because there's an order block and a fair value gap basically. So if there was an order block a bit underneath here, I would put it a bit lower, because again, what I said, Asia could do some wicks or something. So be careful if it's not like it. Be certain in your stop loss is basically what I'm trying to say. So 2.29 trade here. The other one was 2.47 or something. So all in all, it's like a bit under 5%, which is crazy, right? 4 point something percent in 3 days trading Asia session, which has not a lot of volatility, is actually really good. And since this strategy is so simple, like you guys can implement it. You could trade New York like I do, and then implement it at night. You trade Asia. So it actually kind of helps me without to stop over trading, because if I don't get a trade in New York, I'm still like optimistic that I might find a trade in Asia. You know what I mean? But if I know that, okay, I haven't found a trade in New York in a long time, and then like I'll be eager to take in a trade that's not 100% or an A+ setup, right? But in like using this is like, I don't know, it's just an extra way to get some extra RR. And of course you'll lose sometimes, right? But the win rate is pretty high, and it's really simple. It's just like basically like for babies, honestly. Like anyone could do this shit, bro. But yeah, so you could pair the two. You could just trade Asia, you could just trade New York, whatever. But here's the information. If you want to trade Asia, like this is how you're going to do it, and this is how it's going to be the simplest, the most effective. You'll get larger RRs than this. Like I've got like 4 point something RRs. And yeah, but like I say, be conservative. Don't like target something outlandish, right? Don't be like, you'll get a setup here and say, okay, I'm really going for buy side liquidity here, and try to go for a 1 to 6, right? Like it could work sometimes, but I think it's better to get like steady profits that aren't as large than just to get like a lot of L's and then like one big W, right? Because it's better for your like mental, I think. Well, in my opinion, you could trade how you want again, bro. Like I said in like one other video, I'm not your dad, so bro, you could do whatever you want. But like that's just how you trade Asia basically, and that's basically it. I really don't have anything else to say. That's how simple this strategy is, right? So try it out. If you guys are ready to do the strategy, yo, tell me how you've been liking it, and if you guys need any help like with some of the things that I've maybe missed, or some situations that might happen and what should you do in those situations, then I'll talk more about it, but I'll answer your questions obviously in the comments if you have any. But yeah, so that's basically it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. It's a pretty simple one. I guess probably pretty short, honestly. But I'm about to be posting more because I have a New York session video like coming. So maybe like tomorrow, or maybe even today. Probably not today, but maybe the next day after I post this video, I'm about to be posting a New York session video. And then we'll see. Maybe more Asia videos, maybe more New York videos. We'll see what you guys like better. But yeah, comment anything you need. And if you want the link to get a discount on the funding pips, like funding thing, that was like my first video, then you could use the link. I'm going to keep it in the description, and yeah, it'll help me out, right? It's just a discount code. But yeah, that's basically it, bro. Any questions, leave it in the comments, bro, and I'm gonna see you later. Peace, boys.